Good blessed throwback Thursday, December the 14th, 2023. The time being 7:19 a.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. Doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say or do or produce. That's your prerogative. You have a First and a 14th Amendment right to the United States Constitution. Freedom of speech, freedom to gather, an assembly, a freedom to associate, as long as it's in a peaceful manner. I come today in a peaceful manner, but I come today to just try to awaken people again as the year end of 2023 in a matter of a few weeks. But I'm over here now, right across the street from the C.F. Bowen Center, and I'm going to tell you more in a minute. This is the C.F. Bowen Center. It was formerly known as the Lincoln School, where the only place blacks here in Charleston, Missouri can go because the whites that was running Charleston, Missouri, I'm sure they're running it now too, but they didn't want or didn't allow blacks to go to the what then was the Charleston Consolidated School number 7, today known as the Charleston R1 School District. They didn't want blacks to go there, but what blacks had to do what a lot of people did since 1619, or let's say January the 1st, 1863. You know, they had to start filing discrimination lawsuits. And some of the people that filed the lawsuit, one of them was the name Annie Davis, may she rest in peace. She filed the lawsuit for her two minor children, Barbara Davis and Johnny Davis. And what I want to show y'all here, right over here, is where Miss Annie Davis used to live. Where this vacant lot is, Miss Annie Davis still have a grandson and a granddaughter, which is Barbara Davis, son and daughter is still alive. But this is where they used to live. I met them a while ago when I used to live right here on the corner of Boone and Vine with my grandmother when I came down here. And Miss Annie Davis was a nice person, man. She was an elder lady, but she was a nice person. And her daughter Barbara, and her son Johnny was nice people. Her grandchildren was nice people. But what I want to speak about is these people stood up against the white supremacists that was running this town and probably still running it now. They stood up against them and they filed a lawsuit and won. Look up the case. This one thing that these people in this town that call themselves helping black people, white and black, they won't tell you about Davis versus the Charleston, Missouri Consolidated School number 7 or the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Board of Education. They won't tell you about that. They won't even name nothing after Miss Davis, Miss Annie Davis, in her daughter Barbara and her son Johnny. You know why? Because they don't want you to remember that history, just like they don't want you to remember 1619. They don't want you to remember 1492 when Columbus and the rest of them rapists and robbers and rapists came over here and did what they did in the United States. They don't want you to remember things like that. They don't want you to remember people that didn't allow you to put water hoses and billy clubs and dogs on them. They don't want you to remember Malcolm X. They want you to remember Martin Luther King. I remember him too, but they want you to just sit there and let stuff happen and sing "We Shall Overcome." You see, Miss Anna Davis, she prayed. She might have sung "We Shall Overcome," but at the same time, she went down there to some attorneys in St. Louis who stood up against the white attorneys in Sykes in Missouri, Blanton and Blanton, that's still there, that knew what these people was doing was wrong, but they stood up with them. And that's still what's still going on today here in Charleston, Missouri, because they have people like Lester Gillespie, Rodney Jones, and anybody that follow up behind them. I don't care if you're relatives. I don't care if you're married to them or not. When you see that they're doing what they doing to blacks the same way that whites was doing to blacks back in the day, then you just as guilty. But what I want y'all to see is this center here is used to exploit the black community. This is where Lester Gillespie, Rodney Jones, and the NAACP, and we can't forget Paul Page that runs the housing authority. We can't forget him. You see, Paul Page and Lester Gillespie in the NAACP, they make millions out of here. That's what Paul Page headquarters is right there. I'm the only activist in Charleston, Missouri, or civil rights leader in Charleston, Missouri, that's barred from this building or any properties that the housing authority, Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority have, merely because I complained about a white family that stayed on the other side of my bushes, that was studied throwing trash in my bushes, tearing up my bushes, and even some of their neighbors coming beating. I had video beating on my door, and a mob of individuals that associate with them and came down there with them trying to attack my two then minor daughters. Ain't that something? Hey, put me on there. All right. Hey, what's going on? That's my cousin. He's driving the bus on there. You know, he ain't afraid to talk to me because he know, even though I ain't talking about all the people at the Charleston R1 school district, but that's one of my cousins. You see, he wasn't afraid to be on there. That's the school that I was talking about, the Charleston R1 school district. But ask yourself, why would an individual like me be barred from here? You know why they said I'm barred? Paul Page said I'm barred. He didn't take me to court. I could go to court and get it turned around, but I don't even want to. He said the people in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority projects is afraid of me. And he said his workers, the housing authority employees, are afraid of me. But 90% of them talk to me, speak to me. The people in the housing projects contact me when these people be attacking their houses, attacking them. And the police and Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority chief executive ain't protecting these people. Look how many people got shot and killed in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority up under Paul Page. But Lester Gillespie and these people that be running the NAACP, that be running these programs in this historical used to be black school, they just celebrated, gave Paul Page on some type of award for 30 years of good service in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. Ain't that something? You couldn't even get 30 people, black and white, that live in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority to agree with them. But that's what's going on here, y'all. But you need to wake up. You see, before it's too late. One thing about these people here in the Susanna Westy Family Learning Center, in the people that's associated with these people that's getting this government grant money, they don't care about this side of town. They don't care about this side of town. Hey, there go another one of my cousins. All right, cuz. Ain't that something? God sending my cousins in buses and cars to come making sure they cousin is all right. They know what I'm out here talking about. I'm talking about these people. I ain't on y'all property, y'all. But one thing about it, I'm gonna leave it at this here, y'all. These people don't care nothing about this black community. Lesker, and the rest of these people, Susanna Wesley, they got this street here that used to be Am Street right here. They got it changed to Cy Williams Avenue because they say Cy Williams was a slave here. Was he a slave like Lester Gillespie and Rodney Jones and the rest of these sellout NAACP members? A slave that lived in the house and didn't care nothing about those of us that was out in the field laboring, being beaten, raped, and killed? That's the type they is. You see, you don't see them standing up against the police or the school when they wrong. Everybody in the school ain't wrong, because some white people that work in the school don't appreciate the way some of these people is doing in the school today. But I'm going to leave for right now, y'all. We need some more leaders here because we don't have none. Peace be still. As I came on back home, I said I didn't want to end it like this here. You know, I want to try to end it with letting some of the people that don't know, give them a general idea. You see, I was barred for protecting the property over here that I live on because the people that live in the housing projects, what they was doing was they was destroying my bushes. They kept a lot of trash over there, but now me and the people, we talk now. And they white people, we talk now. But the dad came in some months later and apologized. But I used to have to defend my property, and the housing authority wouldn't do anything. The police department wouldn't do anything. The sheriff department wouldn't do anything. So I had to stand up myself and stand up for me. You know, and stand up for me. Now y'all know who's driving that there? That used to be the chief of police in East Prairie. He's a police officer here now. Officer Mark Higgins, that's who just blew at me, working for the school. Even though I criticize him, y'all don't see him barring me from or saying he afraid of me. I criticize the police and everybody else. The chief police and the sheriff, they probably trying to plot something to take my life or incarcerate me for the rest of my life, but they can incarcerate my body, but not my mind. But I want y'all to just know something. I noticed something here in Charleston, Missouri, and some of y'all gonna be offended, but you know, I don't care. But majority of our children, well, a lot of our children, 9 out of 10 times when you see them, guess what they doing? They have some weed or have something else. Some of our little children, you know what they doing? They exercising their time to come over here to so-called terrorize the black community, throwing eggs at them, threatening their elders. You know, they threatened me many a times, but they see I ain't going nowhere. And then you got another group that want to sell drugs. Got another group that want to call themselves gangbangers, but in the end, all of this is done on the west side of town. You know, I tried to save some of my family. You see what I'm saying? But now I just have one responsibility, and that's my youngest daughter. That's the only one that listens. Even though some of the other ones tried to drag her out into this world, but I'm hoping that she old enough and have a mind of her own and don't allow it to happen. You see, you can't go to work howl for weed and other stuff and expect to stay there or expect to have a good attitude. You can't live, not in my household. You see what I'm saying? getting high every day after you come off of work. And when you're off of work, you have my vehicles running around with your friends in it. But some people may allow that, but I can't allow it. You see what I'm saying? I can't allow nothing illegal to be done in my house, on the property, around my house, or in my vehicles. You see, if the shoe fit, wear it. Because those who children is out here doing it, y'all know who it is. You see what I'm saying? If your children ain't doing it, then, or you ain't doing it as a parent, then you don't have to worry about it. You see, some of these people out here, they don't care about themselves. All right now, they don't care about their own children. And surely they don't care about yours. But sometimes some of our children is not wise enough to see how good they had it at our house. I talk to a lot of parents, male and female, that raise their children, and some people that raise some of my kin folks. You see what I'm saying? Telling me what they going through. But I told them, don't feel alone. All you can do is do your job. Once your job is done and they get too grown to listen to or go up under the rules of your house, then it's time for them to go. Don't worry about what somebody else gonna say. Don't worry about they go out in the streets and say, because your record raising them from birth will speak for itself. I'm gonna leave as I came, with the peace and blessings of God be with you. Wake up over here on this west side of town. It's not just happening in the west side of Charleston, Missouri. It's happening in a lot of places in this nation. And it's because it's a lack of black leaders. It's a lack of leaders, period, in the black community that care about these people. Now, the only thing that you see here around here is Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center. You see, right now, you see Stella Consultants ran by Lester Gillespie and his family and some of his friends. You see Fresh Start Performance Center. If you Google them up, you'll see the fraudulent thing about them when they say where they headquarters at. One of them is on 600, a block of Paul Street, which is, you know, his mother's a former house. May she rest in peace. Then 308 North Main Street, his house. But yet, you know, they do things like Trump did, saying that it's one thing, and then, you know, they got Trump, they'll get him. But these people don't care about the black community. What they care about is money getting in their pocket. See, when I was coming up, the people that ran the programs, all right now, the people that ran the programs in Cabrini Green when I came up, you didn't see them getting this grant money and riding around on 24s and riding around with expensive Cadillacs and SUVs. You seen them doing for the community. You didn't see them just give certain children's jobs for the summer. They made sure all of us got jobs. But I'm going to leave it alone, but I'm going to just leave it at this here. Ain't no activist in Charleston, Missouri but me that's standing up against wrong, whether it's black or white. Ain't no groups or organization, all right now, ain't no groups or organization in this town, I don't care if they say they are, that really cares about these children. All this money that they making. Now, see, on the other end of town, see, the white folks don't allow people to run around in their community like they is in ours. They ain't gonna be going over there throwing eggs. They ain't gonna be running around here hanging around with their pants hanging all the way off their butt, disrespecting the elders. Not in the white neighborhood. They ain't gonna go over that. You know why they ain't gonna go over there? Because them people ain't gonna stand for it. Like I said, the start is getting rid of all these individuals, these leaders. Stop sending your children to 700 Elm Street, Susanna Wesley Family Center, Family Learning Center, and any of these other places here in Charleston, Missouri, saying they doing something for your children. Because if they were doing something for the children, those of y'all that can't handle your children, they'll be helping y'all get your children from throwing these eggs before somebody blow their damn heads off. They would help your children that's out here selling drugs. They would help your children that's out here disrespecting elder people for one of these elder people put them in the dirt. I'm going to leave it at this here again. To be aware is to be alive. If you think these people really for you, all you got to do is look at all them millions that they got. Now, they was helping Susanna Wesley teach GED and all that. They helped St. Henry. They helped Charleston R1 school district, but they ain't doing a doggone thing for the black community. All them educators, they won't get together and help the black community educate their children that's being put out of the Charleston R1 school district. You know why? Because they don't care. Peace be still.